Hi guys, welcome to the channel and really important stuff as usual, and we are ready for it, and we were looking at everything in a deep sense as usual because we understand the importance of fundamentals. We understand the importance of this trading work because it is out there that really less people know exactly how to view things, how to see things, and how this thing actually works. So it's really important. We're going to discuss that what are the important characteristics specifically which we need to determine today. So before we get into the deep understanding, I would as usual begin with the calendar that we actually have for today. That is the Friday. So let's get into the discussion. So today is March 14th, and the time which is shown right here is the Eastern Standard Time, that is the New York time. So at 3 a.m. today, we would be having a German final CPI monthly, then we would be having a WPI monthly, then we have the GDP monthly for the pound, and we can see that there's a decrease in here, and we do have like a construction output monthly, index of services 3 months, industrial production monthly, manufacturing production monthly. Then this is the data for the pound, and then we have like euro, French CPI as well coming as per like German and French. Then we have like an Italian production monthly. So these are the countries that are actually linked with the European Union, so that's why they come together. Then we have like consumer inflation expectation, important data for the pound as well. So then we have like NIESR GDP estimates for the pound as well, and then we have like manufacturing sales and wholesales monthly for the Canadian dollar. And at the last, on the Friday, we would be having a preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiments, and as well as inflation expectations for United States dollar. So as usual, we would be going as per our theme. We would be understanding each of the term out there so that we don't miss anything, and it would be enhancing our knowledge as well. So we know that CPI, what are CPIs? We have been discussing that the CPIs are the inflation adjusted prices. So it's the changes in the price of goods and services purchased by the consumers. So as we know that this is an important data, so it is the changes in the prices of the goods and services that are actually adopted by the or accepted by the consumers, and how things look, because things the price of things go up and down. So WPI is the change in the prices of goods sold by the wholesalers. So it is a leading indicator of the consumer inflation. When the wholesalers charge more for the goods or services, the higher costs are usually passed to the consumers. And then we have like a GDP. GDP is the gross domestic product, which says that a change in the total value of goods and services produced by the economy. It is overall economy. So GDP is made up of like a lot of variables, like the formula for GDP is like C plus I plus GX minus M, and it is something really on the side of the macroeconomic aspect that but the most important thing is import and exports also affects GDP. So it is the change in the value of goods and services produced by the economy, and it is the broadest measure in the economic activity and the primary gauge for the economic health. So it is really important data that is coming out. And we do have like a construction output is the change in the total number of the amount builders spend on the construction projects, and the index of service is the service industry is the total GVA. GVA is the value of goods and services. So GVA is the difference between the value of the services provided and value of the goods and services used to provide the services. It is basically the difference or between the services that are being provided and the value through which these services are provided. And we do have like industrial production, that the total inflation adjusted value of the output produced by the manufacturers, miners and utilities. So mines and utilities make up around 20% of the production. Of course, like mining would be there, so there would be the industry. So this data tends to overshadow while manufacturing production make up the other 80%. It is a leading indicator for the economic health, and production reacts quickly ups and downs in the business cycle, and correlates with the consumer conditions such as employment level and earning level. So, and then we have like a manufacturing production is the change in the total inflation adjusted value of the output produced by the manufacturers. So manufacturers make up like around about 80%, and industrial production makes around like 20%, and it is a leading indicator in the economic health. Production reacts quickly to the ups and downs of the business cycle and correlates with the consumer condition. So it is the output produced by the consumers. So similarly, we are having the Italian production as well. So consumer inflation expectation, it is really important data, that is the percentage that a consumer expects the price of the goods and services to change during the next 12 months. The expectation of the future inflation can manifest into the real inflation, and primarily because the workers tend to push for the higher wages when they believe that the prices will rise. So if there is an inflation happening, and if there is an expectation for the inflation happening, so primarily because the workers which work specifically in that industry tend to push for the higher wages, and because they know that inflation is happening and their needs aren't met. So it is a survey about 2000 consumers conducted by IPSOS, which asked respondent where the price is expected to be in the next 12 months. So it is conducted by Bank of England, and we have like a GDP estimate as well, that measures the change in the estimated value of goods and services produced by the economy during the previous 3 months. So it is released monthly, about 10 days after the month end, and this is basically the organization of the survey, that is NIESR, estimates the GDP data on the monthly basis in an effort to predict the quarterly government release data. And sources do not give an exact time, and this event will be tentative. And so it is basically National Institute of Economic and Social Research. And then we have like a manufacturing sales, that it changes the number of the total value of the sales by the manufacturers. And then we have a wholesaler sales, that a change in the value of the sales at a wholesale level. So they both actually link with the consumer spending. And then we have like a most important data, that is the University of Michigan consumer sentiments. Really important data in a sense that it can actually tell us the level of a composite index based on the survey consumers. So what are the sentiments of the consumers? So this is like a first version that is released like 14 days before. After 14 days that we would be getting a revised version. So preliminary release is the earlier and thus tend to have like a most impact, and financial confidence is the leading indicator for the consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activities. So the financial confidence is like really important. If there is a financial confidence in the market, so the overall shows that the health of the economy is good. And we can see that the survey is about like 420 consumers that are asked for the respondents to rate the relative level of the future economic activities. And similarly, we have inflation expectation as well, that a percentage of the consumers expect the prices of goods and services to be changed during the next 12 months. And there are the two versions. And the expectation of the future inflation can manifest the prices of the wages of the workers, that tends to push the prices on the higher side. So it is done by the respondents of like 420 respondents within like the idea about the next future month. So it is both like an expected values. And we see that the actual is greater than the forecast and actual is greater than the forecast. So we see that there is a little bit of decreased here, but overall, like the wholesaler for the wholesale is wholesaler is like the number of the sales, the value of the sales at the wholesale level is being increased in the Canadian dollar. And for example, um, that can really be beneficial for CAD as well today. So on the other hand, we see that the manufacturing sales has been also been increasing. So if in case like the data comes like negative or less than this, because there is a big change, by the way guys, like this is really important that you see that what is the previous and the forecasted. So if there is a little bit of change, then the previous value, because previous value was like 0.3 and now the forecasted is 2.0, so there gonna be a good amount of movement or volatility induced in this in the Canadian pair, which we can actually expect. And similarly, like Italian production, like although like on the euro there it wouldn't be impacted, like a single country wouldn't be impacting a lot except Germany, because Germany is like a big player, and French is also a big player. And we know that there is like a tariff war in a sense of the wine these days. It is like running a problem in a sense that US is about to put a tariff on the wines as well, or maybe they have like threatened yet. So, and we see here that the GDPs of the monthly GDP for the pound is being decreased. And we also can see right here that this is the GDP estimation and consumer inflation expectation. Similarly, like here we have like a consumer sentiments and inflation expectation for the United States dollar. So we are also having it for the pound. We don't have like a forecast yet, but this is how it actually looks like. So let's jump into the quickly into the news that is do we have like any kind of like special breaking stuff or hot stories. So by the way, like the sentiment right now in the market is that the government is actually saying that they don't care about much of the market on the stock side, but they really care about like setting up the policies and improving the base ground, and then they would be actually looking at. But it's really important to understand that around about like 60% of American people are owning stocks, and they have like big 401ks out there that is actually dependent on the stock. So of course they must be worried about that, because people might get crazy about the chop, as we can see that the S&P 500 has like really made a low. And let me like even show you guys later. We can actually see that, but let's see the hot stories right here. So Trump shutdown might lead to a very high taxes. So and he's like talking with like about the other countries that euro is very nasty, and euro taking billions for American business. And this is like the same speech we are listening. And the February US wholesale prices unchanged, showing the inflation easing through the trade war threat. So although like the inflation for the US dollar has decreased a little bit, although it seems like a little bad thing for the businesses, but it's nothing to worry about, because the ideal it went to like 3% to like 2.8%. And Putin also said that Russia backs Ukraine ceasefire, but any deal must addresses. So Russian president on the Thursday said that Russia agrees in principle with US lead ceasefire by Ukraine plan early. So there might be like certainly some of like the ceasefire stuff happening. So this is what I was talking about. Like if EU whiskey tariffs are not removed immediately, US will place a 200% tariff. So the US would be placing like 200% tariff on the stuff, and that's really shocking. And So top 200 art collectors have lost billions due to the stock market sell-off, and these are the simple data out there. And if we like see the central bank's rate currently is when we see the US is around about like 4.50%. I thought it was around about 3, but still US has like rate around like 4.5%, and pound has 4.5%, and Australian dollar is 4.10%. Canadian dollar has reduced recently from 3 to like 2.75 there. That's central banks rates, policy rates, overnight holding rates, and all this loaning rates, and all this stuff has like a same name but same meaning but different names. And this is how actually they talk about it. And let's see if there is some kind of other news out there. So this is like ECB president. The ECB means like a European Central Bank president, saying that the trade conflict will damage the worldwide economic post and economy is post. So they are a bit concerned out there. And then there is a New Zealand price index, and S&P 500 confirms the correction from Friday high tariffs weight. So this is what I wanted to show you guys, that how it is looking, and we can like look into that as well. So overall, like this is the fundamental impact right now that we are talking about. So before going into this DXY and like our same stuff, which I want to like show you guys this correction move that is happening. Although like people, economy, economists, and like news, they are saying that it's a correction, right? And of course they would say it as a correction, but we actually don't know it's a correction or not, because the idea is that if we see around here, like each time the prices went on the downside, S&P 500 S&P 500 is really important in a sense that it includes like 500 major businesses out there that are global and like really strong, $1 trillion. And we see like there's a small pullback right here, and each time the pullback happens, there is a good amount of increase, like almost 100% increase, maybe like more than 100%, around about like 200% increase from this point. Another small corrective move, and there was another increase, another increase like that, and it just like now giving a big corrective move again. And this sell-off is around about 10 to 12% right now, maybe around like 10%. So yeah, see, it's like 10.50% right here. And what we can actually, I want to like show you this on a moving average, because when we are like looking at so when we are looking at these type of companies data, we can see that we actually sometimes I use moving average in order to like understand this, because of the bigger picture. And you see right here that it is bouncing off, it is like exactly reached to the level of 300 moving average, and that's how it is looking right now, reaching to like 300 moving average. On the other hand, guys, I want to like show you the gold as well, that has like surpassed all its highs, and gold is getting expensive each and every time. And right here you see that gold has this was the last level for the gold, and this is a daily time frame, and we can see right here that there has been like a big move on the upper side, breaking all of these highs around here. And gold is haven't like touched 3000 yet, but most probably like now the new figures which are coming, that is around like $3,500. So maybe they are measuring the measured move or something like that. So they are saying that around about like $3,500 would be the next price for the gold out there. And this is like a scary thing in a sense that see um, how much the confidence is like lost in the dollar. So that's why we see these kind of like anomalous activities out there. So it's a big move, by the way. So let's jump to our own charts and see that what we are actually looking at. Before that, guys, just give me a sec. I want to like come back in a second. Okay, so let's jump into our charts and let's see what we are looking at. So right here we can see that the DXY has formed a channel right here, which we were discussing, and after that forming a channel, now the channel thing has stopped and now we are looking at a range. And this is what I was like telling you guys, that prices first go into the channel and then they start moving into the range, and then there is some kind of shift when it is happening. But it's really important to see that in a daily time frame we are expecting a 3 candle retracement here. So when there is a 3 candle retracement, there are certain times that the prices even like push back again. So maybe like if you are a beginner and you're like learning candlestick pattern, you might have gone through that black swan type candle. So it's like, or like a 3 candle cloud. It's like a pattern that 3 candles are formed on the upper side and then prices started retracing back. So it's really important to like see that kind of like patterns out there, because if there's a symmetry in the market, then and only then we can actually trade. And if there is no symmetry out there, we won't be able to trade. So now what we are expecting currently is that now the prices has changed the trend from like prices are in the downtrend, but the channel formation is over and now the range formation has begun. And this is how we are looking at. And also like on the daily time frame, we do have like a 3 candle formation right now. So let's see how the things actually reacts around that. I'm not quite sure, because 3 candles sometimes do give a problem, and they retraces back a little bit and then start pushing on the upper side. But overall, like if we see this in a range formation right now, so there might be a push on the upper side and then we can expect like that. But maybe on Friday we might see a little bit of a breakout, then a pullback, and where the market gonna close around this range. This is what I personally believe. And similarly, like on the downtrend, it could continue like that. But we are not sure right now that how things are looking and how things would be there. And still there is a waiting period when it comes to like US cross pairs. So let's move to the next one. Now we have like USD CAD right here in front of us, and what we are looking at in the Canadian dollar is that USD got stronger around here, pushing on the upper side. But most important stuff is like USD failed to break this high around here. So if you consider this as a wave, this is the high, this is the lower high, and this should have been a higher high like that in order to continue the phase. That is 1 2 3 pattern, or ABC pattern right here. So uh, but the thing is that we can see that the prices failed to break around this zone, and if the prices are if prices are failed to break around this zone, so that shows a little bit of weakness in the US dollar as compared to the Canadian dollar. Right here we can see that right here we do had an order block right here that actually reacted around this point, and we see a pump on this side. But this was a beautiful trade in a sense that this is like a three wave pattern move. Like there was like a two bullish candle, then there was like one red candle, and prices actually broke out of this structure. So we can't say exactly that it is like a short long right now, but uh, overall what we are looking at, it could be developed into a different formation. Like this could be considered as like a head and shoulder right here, and then this was a neckline, but the prices couldn't break the neckline. So this is really important, that if there is the break of the price on this low right here, so we might see a retest, and then we can actually expect the prices to go down in the US dollar case. But currently it isn't showing that, and we are looking at the move. So if there might be another scenario, is that if there might be a rejection around this point, and what ended up happening, that prices went up, came back down, again went back up there, retest this level, failed to break their level. So then we might see a break of structure around here, and then the prices can actually go on the downside like that. So this is how the CAD USD CAD looks like. And USD Swiss, we are seeing a little bit of momentum around here, with the dollar moving on the upper side like that, in a form of a upwards channel. And this is a move that has happened on the downside, so there might be a continuation, and we might see a dump if the three candle retracements that is happening right now fails in the DXY. So most probable chance is that it's not as easy to recognize that. So in this case, I'm happy that this type of formation is occurring right now. So if the prices actually come back to this order block right here in front of you, so we might see a reaction around this point, and we can expect that. But it is really important to monitor right now that how the dollar specifically reacts with the Swiss. But overall we have seen like the trend is getting stronger, and there are liquidity that is being built down there, but still we have to actually see that how the things start rising, because this is like a proper low that has been formed right here, which has actually indicated that the prices can go on the upper side. And here we can't see that type of low around here, but there was like a lot of price action, or lot of waiting around this point. We can see that this is big range, and there was a breakout, pullback, then again try to break out, again pull back, and then broke out of the structure, and now prices are in this type of range around here. So if we actually look at in this kind of formation around here, we can expect that if the prices break on the upper side, we can see that prices can reach to this level. And after this level, guys, like the things might get more clear for us to actually predict the next move. So let's move to the yens. So yes, have done like a beautiful move on the downside, pushing the dollar on the downside trend. And after that we can see that the prices have like held around here, give us this inverted hammer around here. And after that we can see there was a small pullback around this point, but we can see that the prices held around this with the small pin bar or a doji bar around here, and we can see that the prices are pushing on the upper side. So it seems like the yens are getting a little bit of the hit from the dollar right now, and there might be a chance that the prices can continue on the upper side up till this order block right here. Let me make it more clear for you guys. So this is the basic level where the prices can be pushed on the upper side right now, and can give us a clear zone. But in actual sense that we have to actually plan the trade. So in that case I would be placing my alert around here. So at the low of this candle, that is basically an order block, 150.046, 150.046. It could be a good trigger point if the prices actually break break above this point around here, we might see the continuation of the dollar from that point. And secondly, like this is an early move like that, so there would be much of the people around the world that might be considering this breakout as a continuation move on the upper side. But for the safe end, guys, I would be actually wanting the price to actually reach to this level in order to that, because this is the move that actually triggered the sell side momentum towards the downside, breaking the structure around this zone. So let's wait till the prices reach on the upper side, and then we can actually start taking certain positions around USD yens as well. So Euro USD has made a peak formation high right here, and one of the most important thing that actually happened is that one push, two push, three push around here, and a retest, and prices went down. But our alert point is here, so I would be getting more interested if the prices break out of this zone around here, similarly to the yens on the upper side. So what I actually am predicting is that you might have like seen this pattern. This is like a really famous three I don't exactly remember the name of the pattern, but it's like a pattern that actually shows that the peak formation has formed, and we can see that this wick has also developed around here, although it might not be as legit, but we actually need to see the scenario. So if you give me like certain let me so just a sec, guys. So this is what I was actually talking about, that this is a three push pullback pattern, that one push, two push, three push, and then there's a sell off. And similarly it happened on the downside as well. So this is like a price swing is contracting here and forming a channel, and then there's a breakout that happens around this point. So it's just like that. You can like actually keep that in the mind, that this is a similar structure that actually been showing here. We can see that this is a three push pattern. So number one push, so this is the first push, two push, and third push, and similarly like a pullback, and then continuation. But if the price is like reaches to this point, and there would be like a price action, there would be much of a volatility around this point, because most of the orders around here might have been longing. So in that case, if we see a breakout from this zone, or so any sort of pullback into this order block around here, we can actually take a position on the sell side, and that can actually give us a good sell move around this point. We might have like a sudden reaction around this order block, or maybe around this order block, or maybe around this breakout move, and prices might be coming back here as well. So be aware of that. And then Euro GBP, we can see that the weakness in the euro has begun in front of like a pound, because this was like a wonderful opportunity that I was actually looking at, and really interested in that too as well. I had also placed one trade setup in here, by the way. Yeah, so this was like a trade setup that wasn't like actually executed, but I was actually planning my trades along with that. So I was mostly expecting that the prices would go down from this point, and Euro GBP is kind of like a pair that actually requires a little bit of cautiousness with like the stop losses. So we can see that this pullback that happened, and after that there was a break structure around here, and then prices went actually on the downside. So although the prediction was like right, so that's what I wanted to show you guys. And then we have like a euro odd. We can see that the euro has started showing the weakness in the euro odd as well. So Aussies has been like a really weak pair in this all momentum, and you can see that this is the strength in which euro showed in front of the Aussies right here. We can see that this was like a sideways range around here, and then it is around about like a measured move that we got, like the prices went up, and after that, what I actually mean by measured move, like if you for example like take, see, this is a measured move, this is a range high, range low, and we can see that the double the amount of this range, the prices moved on the upper side exactly to this point. So this was like a wonderful opportunity, by the way. So this is what I was like trying to tell you guys. And let's come to the current scenario, by the way. So the current in the current scenario, it's you can't like currently say that it is in a full sell position. It might be in a selling momentum based on the micro level, but on the higher time frame, still it would be much better if we actually wait for this point, and if the prices reach around here, we might see a reaction from this point. So we might like see a move on the upper side. So until and unless like we get a good break around this point, and even the good break around this point would be much better, because if there is a break around this point, we might see a clear move up till down there. So, or even up till here as well. So most probably like the sellers might have induced in this right now, but we have to actually wait for the perfect opportunities out there. So on the other hand, like this could be like a head and shoulder right here as well, and the neckline. And there's another thing that I want to like highlight right now, that this was like a major resistance up here, right? So if you see in that case, in that context, that the major resistance right here, it has like broken out, we got a reaction from that point, and prices are coming back. So in that case, if you want to like take an early position, so if the breakout occurs around this point, so any sort of pullback can give us a move like that. We might see a reaction around here, but this would give you like enough of the profits around here if you take a good position from placing the stop loss up here, so we can get that as well. So moving next to like NZDs, we can see that the weakness started happening in NZDs in the euro compared to the NZDs right here. NZDs are taking a little bit of strength around here, and similarly like the Canadian dollar is also impacting the euro right here, that euro is pushing a little bit of a downside move. But most important thing to remember that this is the bullish move right here. So if you actually measure this bullish momentum right here, so it's around about like 322 pips around here. So if we see a selling move around here, so selling move around like 263 pips right now, so still there is enough gap between them that the prices are actually not falling as the way it should fall, and there is a much of like a hesitation which I can see. But most probably like if the range formation occur around here, that is a good sign, and if the range happens, so it might break down on the downside like that, and this is a clear move that we can get up till here. So a wonderful opportunity that would be building up, but there is like a consciousness specifically being, you should be like conscious but intuitive in your work. And similarly in yens, we can see that yens are showing the weakness around here. Euro had a breakout around this point, and prices pull back, and now yens are getting weak, and that's why we are seeing this type of momentum. So we would be waiting for this point, and in that case I would love to see that if the prices come around 162.500 level, because that and start failing from that point, so that can even like give us a good. What I actually mean to say is that let's understand that this is the part which we are looking at. So prices went up, came back down. If the prices reached to this point, failed around this point, so we can actually like take a position in that case, locking the profits up till here. So this can give us a wonderful opportunity in that case. So let's see how things actually run. And USD Euro CHF has given us a wonderful move, guys. Like, this is one of the most interesting pair right now. You see, this is a peak formation high, prices went up, came back down, failed to break high, and kind of like formed a double top around here and here, and failed to break, and that's why we saw this type of a selling momentum here. And as the prices went down, again pulled back and went down, formed this railroad pattern around here, and it is a good sign for a selling position. So there are like two indications right now for selling the Euro CHF right here. And you need to, guys, understand one thing really important, that we are analyzing right now, we are not trading right now. So understand the analysis so you can find the trade later on by your own self, based on your own trading edge. So this is how things are looking. And we see the pound, we just have seen that euro has given us like a good momentum on the downside. So seems like euro GBP can give us a good opportunity in that case, because euro is weaker than the pound right here. So, and that's a big deal. And similarly, pound Aussie hasn't given us as great momentum as euro Aussie right here. And similarly with the Kiwis, we can't see much of a momentum in that case. And with the CAD as well, like the pound is stronger, guys. And let's see how it reacts after its GDP data today. And we can see that a wonderful opportunity around this range. That's why I was keeping this range highlighted right here, that is from this point to this point. And we can see that exactly the prices got bullish around this point, right? And after making the bullish momentum, prices pushed back exactly to this range, and making this doji bar here, and then pushing on the upper side. This is the kind of the trades that actually we are seeking as a trader. So this is a perfect opportunity right here to push the prices on the upper side. And the weakness in the yens as compared to the pound and Swiss, there's nothing much of a deal right in this pair as well. So when we see like AUD USD right here, and AUD USD right here, we can see that this is a good structure for a downtrend structure right here, because let's see that there was a break around here, prices came back, pulled back into this break in this neckline right here. And then we saw another push on the downside, and again a neckline right here, prices push a little bit on the downside but couldn't break the low right here, but went on the upper side, retested this level, and then again went back there. So it's a good indication that there could be like a selling momentum hidden in there. And if the prices start breaking around this range, we can actually take a trade around the prices to actually reach to this point, because we can see that there's enough weakness around in the Aussies right here. So but it is a wonderful move, by the way, the wave this it has built. And this is a good sign of weakness, by the way. And this is a retest that happened around here, the liquidity grab that all the people who were like shorting around this point got squeezed out. And most probably like the people who were holding the trades on the buy side, because there are like a lot of the people who would be like, let me make it more simple for you guys, that most of the people, like with seeing this type of rally, looked at this pullback around this point and took the buy position from this point. After considering that this was a breakout, we saw that they were squeezed. Most people don't use the stop loss, so it's a good relief for them that the prices came up there. So this is how you can actually analyze this pair right now. And this is like New Zealand, Aussie NZD right here. And Aussie NZD is basically the trade which I've like actually taken in reality. So the thing actually which triggered me right now, that we can see that there we can see this order block right here. So this trade is more clear on the daily time frame right here. So this is how it is looking, that I'm only talking about like technical right now, but according to the correlation, I don't find this trade as beautiful as as I take other trades that are like much more relevant in correlation. But technically, that was like a good setup in a sense that this is a peak formation low, this is another peak formation low, and this is another peak formation low. Like prices, this is like a order block right here. Prices came back here, went up, came back here, went up, came back here, went up, like that. And now this is like a fourth time the prices reached to this level. So seems like this level is a little bit of like showing the strength around this point. So we might see a push on the upper side. Secondly, what actually made me to take this position was these kind of like wicks specifically developing, showing that the seller momentum is actually failing around here. That you can see that prices opened around here, came back down there, went up, closed around there, opened around here, came back down, went back up. Then we saw that the prices opened around here, went on the downside, and then closed on the upper side like that from this point. And then we can see that really important thing which I'm telling you right now, that when the prices opened around here, came back down, went back up, but couldn't close under these candles right here. So that's something fishy that made me like actually trigger this point around here. So by the way, like this trade gonna take like huge time, and it's not much of a problem. Then we can see that the Canadian dollar is getting a little bit of weakness around the Australian dollar, because there is much of the trade that is done between the Australia and the Canada right here. So it's just like a correlation between them as well. So we can see right here that Australian dollar showed a good amount of weakness each time that we can see that the prices reached to this level. There was like a good selling momentum within there, like 4 times the prices reached, and we can see that amount of the pin bars which has been formed, showing the weakness around that point. And most probably, like I was expecting more from this move, but we can see that the Australian dollar has gaining the strength, because the Canadian dollar also reduced its rates to from 3 to like 2.75. So it might be like right now impacting around this point. So that's the idea. But if you remember, the euro has given us a significant downside move, and then Aussies, yens, we can see that again a pullback to the pin bar, and then a continuation on the upper side like that, like GBP, JPY. And then not much happening on the Swiss side as compared to the euro. Now see the NZD USD. We can see that NZD USD is stronger, and it is still holding, and that strength of the NZD is actually making me a little bit confused about the trade which I took. So in that case, you can see that the prices are actually going on the sideways. The range formation is occurring right now, and this is the range that is being developed around this point. So let's see how the price action unfolds itself around here. NZD CAD, similar structure to the euros. We can see that CAD is becoming really weak. Similarly in yens, we can see the same amount of pullback that happened in Aussie yens. And this is under DCHF. We can see that there was a good amount of weakness in NZD that occurred around this point. And this was the trade which I actually took in reality around here. So this is where I later on like scratched my trades after like locking a good amount of profit in there. So you see, this was my stop loss right here, so I can remove it now. So in that case, right now what we are looking at is that there was like a good amount of sell-off that happened in NZDs at that moment, and when the prices reached around this order block. By the way, I shared this setup as well on YouTube and TradingView as well. If you can, I can like later on show you. So right here on the order block, we can see that prices were making higher highs and higher lows around here, breakout. After this candle formation, I got a bit of a confirmation, and I took this position, locked in the profit exactly of this amount, and a little bit of the prices were running. Most probably I was hoping and the continuation, but there was a data that was coming out on that day, so I kind of like placed my stop loss at the break even and got stopped out in that case. But a wonderful trade in that regard. So what we are currently looking is something really complicated right now, because the price has been like holding this zone around here, and this is another range right here. So this is the range formation that is occurring within this zone right here. So let's see how things actually react. If there's a breakout from this, so we can get a move like that. If there's a breakout on the downside, then we might be monitoring it as well. And similarly, if we see the CAD JPY, we can see that the Canadian dollar is a bit stronger than the yens. Yens are weakest right now, and pound is and euro is also weakest right now. So that's why we are looking at this type of momentum. And similar structure in CAD CHF right here. We can see that there isn't much of the momentum here, because both of these pairs are kind of like stronger right now. So that's why we are looking at this range structure in here. And CHF JPY, we saw a wonderful reaction that yens got super weak. We got like a 4 candle reversal around here, and it's around about like 150 pips, and we haven't seen like 4 candles developing with the yens in any other pairs except CHF JPY right here. So again, we are done with the analysis right here. So what I want to like show you, that if you go and follow me on the trading view right here, I post a lot of setups around here. See, I got like a lot of boost because this is a wonderful trade which I did, and actually it was like a proper good trade. And this is the trade setup which I also gave, and this is a trade setup which I also gave. So I do like post a lot of stuff out there as well, and comparing the trades around here. You can like watch these videos as well. So, and secondly, like I want to like show you something else as well, which we can actually discuss. So it's a heat map, and we have been discussing that. So for example, you are looking at like Euro USD. You want to look at Euro USD, so look here, Euro, and this is a USD. So we can see that the Euro has like almost decreased 0.09% right now, and that shows that the Euro is weak. And if we want to compare like euros to the yens, so we can see that Euro has given us a great strength against the yens. And if we compare like Australian dollar with the yens right here, we can see that Australian dollar is like super strong as compared to the yens. And similarly, if we can see the pound and New Zealand kiwi right here against the yens, like pound has given like 0.54%, but NZDs has given around like 79%. So it is really important to understand right now that NZDs are the strongest one right now. So the market shift has been happening continuously. Like initially, like euro was the strongest, then pound was the strongest, and then New Zealand kiwi was the strongest, and then was the Australian dollar. But all of the sudden, the shift that I've noticed like today in the afternoon, like after Thursday, we can see that the shift between like the powers has been happening around like Australian dollar and New Zealand kiwi getting a little bit stronger rather than like euro and pound right here. So this is really important, that actually can be extended till like next Wednesday. And if you look at the Canadian dollar right here, because the Canadian dollar was the weakest one. So if we see like USD CAD, so this is USD right here, and this is the Canadian dollar right here. We can see that the Canadian dollar is a little bit stronger right now, and in that case the USD is weaker. And on the other hand, if we see AUD CAD, we can see that the Australian dollar is stronger than the CAD, that is pushing the prices on the upper side. Pound is weaker euro is weaker, and you can see that the euro is like weakest right now, around about they are same. You can see that they are around about same, but most probably like the euro is weakest, pound is little less weaker. And then we see that NZD CAD right here. Oh, by the way, they added NZD too, so initially they didn't had the NZD, so I think they updated that. So we can see that NZD with the Canadian dollar, that NZD is strongest, and then the Australian dollar is strongest, and then pound is strongest, and then euro is strongest. So this is how you can actually use the correlation impact in order to find the perfect opportunity for your own self. And if we see the Swiss is right here, so if we see the USD CHF, we can see that Swiss is weaker. That's amazing, by the way. Swiss is weaker around here, right? So we can see that Swiss is around about like showing the weakness around here. With AUD CHF, we can see that the weakness is there. NZD CHF, we can see the weakness right here. With euro as well, and similarly with the Canadian dollar, we can see the weakness there. So on the other hand, we can see the CAD is getting stronger. So CAD is stronger, and if we see the yens are really weak today. Yens are super weak today. That shows the weakness in the yens right here. And with the Swiss, we can see that Swiss is also weak. So Canadian dollar is stronger. So if we actually what I was doing, like if we actually look into the charts for the Swiss and yens right here, so that's why we are looking at that yens are the weakest, and CAD yen right here. So that's why we are like we can look at this chart, that this was the lowest point right here, and the liquidity grab that happened around this point, and it's a perfect opportunity right now to even long that. And if you can even like take a long position around here, if you can build a long position around here, so most likelihood is that the prices can move on the upper side like that. So in that case, right now I'm not planning to take a trade because I'm already in a trade. But if this could be the setup right here, we can actually grab this. So there could be a high likelihood that prices can go on the upper side. We can like see it after Monday. So this is how the situation is looking right now, and this is the general information out there for the markets. And I hope everything is being covered and cleared. So I was just looking at the comments, if somebody wants to like know something or want to ask something, so you can actually ask that question. Just a sec, guys. I want to like see the chat. That is there anybody want to ask something? If you have any questions, you can ask me. And if you want me to analyze any pair for you guys, or if you have like any trades that are like stuck. This is a wonderful opportunity being built in here. Right here, if you can place your stop loss above here, and this can give you a good move around this point. And even if the continuation happens, we can get a move till there, because euro is like literally weak right now. So this could be a good setup around here, and this with this small stop loss. So I would be waiting like for 5 minutes, and then I would be leaving. If there are any questions, so do let me know. Any trades that are stuck or anything. What is happening with BTC, by the way? This is like a downtrend. After like this support, we can see that the prices pull back, continuation, and like went on the downside. So anyway guys, I think that's it. So take care guys.